Well, Senator Grassley, thank you very much for doing this with us.
Well, I'm glad to be with you, of course.
You can't walk 5 feet at this place without getting attacked by a mob of people.
Well, now, how do you know that?
We've been waiting for you and watching you,
Okay.
person after person. That's what
Okay.
it's like for you here, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is one way of having a town meeting, one person at a time. Somebody stops and asks you, "Can I ask you a question?" And I always tell them, "You don't need to ask me if you can ask a question. Besides, I get paid by the year, so don't worry about it." So I'm trying to be open because I'm one half of the process of representative government. You're a constituent, you're the other half, and you got to have dialogue between those of us elected and those that serve.
Is that what you love about the state fair, that you are just up close and personal with thousands of people at a time?
Well, first of all, I enjoy the state fair for what the state fair is. Kind of a composite or summation of what I was all about, In fact, along that line, you probably don't remember this, but between 1986 and roughly 4 years ago, every other year I'd bring ambassadors from the embassies in Washington, D.C. for a week during state fair time.
Oh, really?
And we would go to about 17 or 18 different communities to see a family farm or to see manufacturing or to see an educational institution.
Wow.
But we always ended up here because it was always a summary of everything they saw around Iowa.
And as an Iowan, you are proud of this like all the other Iowans.
Why shouldn't I be?
Yeah.
There's a lot of work goes into it, and particularly in the last 10 or 15 years where there's been so much work done to rebuild this place so it's not anything to be ashamed of. Roofs don't leak anymore, and there's no cracks in the sidewalks and stuff like that.
When did you first start coming to the fair? How old were you? Do you remember?
Well,
little guy?
No, I don't recall that I had a mom and dad that ever went to the state fair, because in the years when I was growing up, there was a state fair-like thing in Waterloo called the National Dairy Cattle Congress.
So that was the big thing
yeah,
you go to.
Yeah. In fact, they used to let school out one day in September to just go to
the cattle congress.
Yeah, cattle congress. Now they still have the National Cattle Congress, but it's not quite the big deal it was then. But it's still an important thing for Waterloo.
Well, then when did you first make it to the state fair?
1959, when I was first elected to the state legislature.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they used to have a day then, and I don't know if they do it now, but there was always State Legislative Day, where we would come and any of the colleagues from the legislature could come, and they had a special program just for state legislators. But I didn't come, I served in the state legislature 16 years, and I didn't come every one of those 16 years, but I think of the 32 plus 6 in the House, the 38 years I've been in the Congress, I think I have come to the state fair every year.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about some of your memories. What's your fondest memory of the state fair? Did you see a show at the grandstand, or meet a politician that you idolized, or see an event? What do you remember? What's the big one?
Well, it's the one that you always talk about, the buttered cow.
I'm afraid you're going to say that.
Yeah.
Everyone says that.
Yeah.
What do you remember? Have you ever seen a big concert here? Or
No.
Do you remember coming and seeing a politician specifically that you wanted to come meet? Or
I don't think so.
tractor pull?
No. I come to the state fair for everything at the state fair.
The people and the food.
Well, I eat too much, yes.
What is your weakness amongst the state fair food?
Well, it's a more recent one within the last 10 or 15 years, the pork chop on a stick. See,
We've heard
wouldn't
a lot
you
of
expect me to say that? But there's a truth to it. See,
What is it about the state fair that keeps so many people coming back, like yourself, year after year after year, and they bring out-of-towners with them? People plan their vacations around the state fair.
Yeah.
What is it about this that makes it not only continue, but grow every year?
Well, if you love Iowa, you're going to love the state fair, because the state fair is what Iowa's about. Almost everything you see here, someplace, is represented someplace in Iowa. And also you got to realize that Iowans are very friendly people. See, Iowans are very friendly people.
As you know firsthand from walking around the fair.
Yeah.
Now you travel famously to all 99 counties every year. You make a case to do that. How many people do you recognize when you come to the state fair? Because you have met and seen a lot of Iowans. Too many to remember.
Okay.
How many times when you're at the state fair do people come up to you and say, "Hey, I met you," or "Hey, do you remember me?"
I'll bet half the time people say that. And if I do recognize them, I probably don't remember their name, but I know something about their community, or I know something about where I met them, or something about them that they think I remember their name. But it's a weakness on my part, not to
I
remember
think
names.
you can be forgiven for
Yeah.
not remembering
But-
the thousands of names.
But you know, I usually ask people, have we met before? And then the usual thing I say, if we've never met before, that I'm kind of the view that after being in the Senate for 32 years, I ought to know all 3 million Iowans, but obviously I don't.
So you have to bring your A game when you come to the fair,
Yeah.
because you're going to get bombarded.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, one thing nice about coming to the state fair is even if people disagree with you and maybe don't even vote for you, they still treat you reasonably and civilly. They really do. Yeah.
Senator, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
We'll let you go get that chop on a stick.
Yeah, you
Or
bet.
have you had it already?
No.